Hey guys, welcome back and happy Wednesday. This week we're going to be talking about shin splints, or as they are also known, medial tibial hematoma. Again, shin splints. So what they are is that they can cause pain along the inside edge of the shin bone. And what causes it? It's generally caused by overuse and stress on the shins. It's common in runners, dancers, gymnasts, etc. Anybody that moves their legs a lot, of course. It's usually a biomechanical issue. It's from the glutes and the hamstrings not firing when they're supposed to be, which causes the quads and the calves to overfire. It causes the quads to be overly tight as well as the calves, and that can lead to more stress on the shins. Can we prevent it? Yes. So we want to avoid overuse, of course, when that is possible. Take rest days when you can. We want to wear proper footwear. So we should be, replacing your athletic shoes about every 2 to 3 months, and your insoles as well as you wear insoles. You also want to avoid doing high impact exercises on improper surfaces. So avoiding running on things like asphalt and concrete as much as possible. Try to stick to trails. We also want to properly engage the glutes and the hamstrings during our warm-up before we do any sort of running, cycling, anything like that. So I'm going to take you through a quick routine today, what my warm-up that I do every single time before I run, and I run 3 times a week. I try to do a 5K once a week, so I'm running at least around like 10 miles, give or take, every week. So this is the warm-up I do, and I've never personally had any issues with shin splints. So all you will need is a trigger point ball. I like to use the Trigger Point Therapy specific one. This is the MB1 ball. I really like it. I like the texture to it. It's supposed to kind of mimic the feel of a massage therapist's hands on your muscles, so you can get some blood flow through there as you're rolling them out. But you don't by any means necessarily need this if you have a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. Those both work great as well. You just want to make sure that it's a ball that has some stiffness to it. It's got some density. So let's go ahead and head back here. We're just going to start by rolling out our feet. I always do this to avoid any sort of foot and ankle issues. So we want to put it on the inside edge of your feet. If you divide your foot into 3 little pieces here, we're going through the inside from the big toe down to your heel pocket. That's a little area right before your bony little heel. It kind of feels like a little divot right there. So we're going to go for 3 passes. Perfect. And let's go ahead and move on to the middle of our feet, right down the center, right around that 2nd and 3rd toe, back down towards that heel pocket as well. We're going to go for 3 passes in every single option here. Perfect. And we're moving all the way out to the edge of our foot, so pinky toe all the way down the side. And if you find anything kind of sticky or stiff on your way as you're going through this, by all means, go ahead and spend a little extra time working that out. Now we're going to go ahead and put the ball right underneath that big toe one more time. And this time we're just going to go towards the side. So we're going to go right along the balls of our feet, right underneath that big toe, all the way down to our pinky toe. 3 times there. And if you need a little less pressure, you can do this seated as well. I like to do it standing because I like that deep massage. And now we're going to go ahead and take that ball and we're going to put it right at that little heel pocket. So you find that spot right where you feel that little heel bone. I want you to put it right above there, just behind the arch. And you're going to go ahead and lean forward, add on a little pressure there, just as much as feels comfortable. Just take one more nice deep breath here. Hold it as long as it feels good for you. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and do the other foot. Before we do that, I want you to go ahead and just walk around in a circle. I know it seems silly, but I want you to notice just how more elastic and how much more springy that foot feels now that we've really warmed up our muscles and rolled out any tension. Let's go ahead. We're going to start right underneath the big toe and that inner arch. Perfect. Going right down the middle of that foot. Back to the pinky toe here. I'm going a little faster now that I've kind of broken it down and explained it to you. We're going big toe to pinky toe, right along the side there, and back towards that heel pocket. Perfect. All right. So now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and move up towards our calves. I mentioned that shin splints can happen when your calves are really tight. So we're going to go ahead, take a seat here, and I'm just going to massage my calves real quick. I just kind of squish and squeeze almost like you would like a little toothpaste tube or like a thing of cookie dough. Just kind of squish and squeeze it there. Do both sides, and then generally if I'm feeling some extra tightness towards the end of my week after I've run a couple times after rest day, I will also use my trigger point ball and I will use that along my calf, and I'll just kind of move it around, find any areas that just feel stiff or tight, Give it a little extra love there. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Moving around. All right, great. Now, I did mention before that one of the issues that leads to shin splints is your quads tend to be too tight, as well as your hip flexors. Your hip flexors need to be flexible when you're running because you take that leg back behind you. So from here, I like to go ahead and do a little runner's lunge. I just go ahead and go forward as far as feels comfortable. Sometimes I'll pulse it, sometimes I'll just hold it nice and steady. Just breathe nice and deep here so we can stretch and relax. This also helps stretch out that quad that gets nice and tight. One nice deep breath. All right, let's go ahead and switch those legs out. Same thing here. You can pulse it or you can hold it static, whichever feels better for you. Really squeeze that glute of that leg that's behind you. That's going to help open up that hip flexor and that quad just a little bit more in the front there. All right. Now from here, I like to go ahead and come on up to standing. I'm going to stretch out my calf, just basically doing the same thing I was doing before, but this time I will be standing, and I'm going to really focus on taking that heel back towards the floor as much as I can, really stretching and lengthening along the back of that calf. Let's go ahead and switch on out here. Still breathing nice and deep. And after this, we're going to go ahead and warm up our muscles just a little bit with some dynamic movements. All right, so now what I like to go ahead and do is just about 10 squats. Just regular, good, old-fashioned squats. That way I know that my glutes are turned on and they're engaged before I start running. Turn sideways so you can see me. I'm seating my glutes back behind me like I'm sitting into a chair. My knees go a little forward, but they're not going beyond my toes. You'll feel this a little bit in your quads, but I want you to mostly feel it in your glutes. If you're not feeling it in your glutes, I want you to give those glutes a little extra squeeze right at the top there. Let's go 3 more here. Last one. All right, from here, we're just gonna go ahead and do some calf raises, just really focusing on warming up those calf muscles so I know that they're ready to go. So my feet stay nice and parallel, and I'm just gonna roll forward up onto the balls of my feet. I try to do this really slowly to make sure I'm really applying even pressure throughout my foot as I roll up. My ankles aren't rolling out to the side or rolling in towards the center. I've got a slight softness in my knees, so I'm not overextending. Perfect, let's go for 3 more here. Last one. All right, and that is it. That is my entire warm-up that I do before I go running to make sure that I avoid my shin splints, to make sure that my glutes and my hamstrings are properly engaged and ready to go. So thank you guys again so much for being here. I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, please go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you guys again so much for being here, and I will see you again on Sunday.